Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. It's a beautiful day outside. Monday, June. Do that so you know what I'm doing. Monday, everyday dose. Monday, June 16, 2025. The month is officially more than half over. We're on the downward side. And here we are at Department of Career Services. Might have to change that. New thing. Um, yeah. Well, as of today, it's Department of Career Services, and our goal is to help our students and interested people on their journey. No, to help people experience this life. The idea that we are a spirit with a body. We're not a body with a spirit. We don't have a spirit inside us. We're a spirit with a body around us. I think if you think about it that way, when somebody says, "Who are you? Who am I?" we don't think of the body, we think of the spirit. And then maybe we become less conscious, less interested in our outward appearance, the appearance of our body, and more conscious about the manifestation of our spirit. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. This is day one of week one in our neuroscience oriented approach to success. What does that mean? Well, so now for the next 28 days, 4 weeks times 7 days, now for the next 28 days, we're going to have one lesson per day from this book. One lesson per day from this book. And this stuff is all contained on the worksheet down below, or on our website, or you can access through Facebook, or you can access through LinkedIn or X. The worksheet is where the work is. That's where the stuff is to help experience this life. The tools that we need to best take advantage of the life that we have, the gift we've been given of life in 4 dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. We focus on the spiritual on the weekends. That is G School. Monday through Friday is physical, mental, and emotional. On the physical side, we say, you've been given this body, this gift of this body. You didn't earn it. It was a gift. It wasn't a bargained for exchange. And we need to honor the gift. It's that simple. Somebody gives you a gift, honor the gift. You don't say, "No, I don't want it." You say, "Oh, here's the gift." In your face, Neil Armstrong. You don't say that, you honor the gift. So how would you honor the gift of having a body? Don't abuse it. Right. Take advantage of it. Don't ingest things that are harmful to the body. Don't let the body wear out, break down unnecessarily. In other words, physical exercise. Go for a walk. Do breathing exercises. Do yoga. You can get up with me and do 15 minutes of stretching in the morning, and then 15 minutes of yoga, or 15 minutes of arms and light weights, whatever. Take advantage, take care of your body. You want it to last as long as possible, at least 100 years, 120 years. Honor the gift of life. Mental, always be learning. Okay, so last week I finished I know that nobody cares about this, but last week I finished my second to last class in the graduate program of pastoral ministry at Santa Clara University, the Jesuit University in Silicon Valley, where I earned my Bachelor of Science in Commerce degree, finance, and now I'm getting a graduate degree. I'm in the graduate program in pastoral ministry to get my chaplaincy certificate, whatever it is I'm going to get. One class to go. But what did I do? I started another class. What? Yeah, Coursive regarding AI. And boy, in 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, boy, have I learned a lot already. Wow. In AI, like ChatGPT, it's all about the prompts. Same thing in graphical stable diffusion. Same thing. Wow. And this is the tip of the iceberg, according to Yuval Harari. You've got to learn the basics. You've got to learn AI. Okay. And what else? Our people should be doing some Coursera, learning how to learn. Barbara Oakley. I think we have some of her books here that go along with it. Okay. So day 1, week 1. Here's our 4-week journey. It starts with saying, here's what we need to do. We need to answer 2 basic questions over the next 28 days, 4 times 7, next 28 days. We are going to strive to answer 2 questions. Who am I and why do I behave the way I do? That's it. Not who do I think I am, not who do I want to be, not who was I. Who am I? And why do I behave the way I do? And the idea is if we can answer those 2 questions, then we can dial in who we need to be right now. And then in 5 minutes or 30 seconds, who we need to be right then and right then and right then. And so we do it on a neuroscience as opposed to psychology or CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, or neurolinguistics or whatever. We do it on a neuroscience because we want to understand how the brain works. And so imagine it's like learning to drive a car. All other approaches, the non-neuroscience approaches to this learning to drive a car metaphor analogy would be, we're going to get you the best driving instructor possible. And he is going to teach you, or she, that person is going to teach you how to be the best car driver you can be. Professionals teach amateurs to be what they can. Okay, so in a neuroscience, in a regular approach to learning to drive a car, the idea is he teaches you to drive the car the best way you can. And if you had the best car driving instructor teaching you how to drive a car, how should you become? You should become the best driver that you are. Okay, so Atticus Von Atticus is here, but for some reason he can't get into chat. So I'll just say hello. So you would be the best car driver you could become if you had the best driving instructor. And that's great. Now, there he is. He's in. Oh, no, he's on my text. Okay. Now, a neuroscience approach says, well, before we teach you how to drive the car, we're going to teach you how the car works. We're going to teach you about the engine, about the transmission, about the brakes, about the steering. We're going to teach you about how the car works, and then we're going to teach you how to drive a car. And part of the reason for that is you will become a better driver. There's that word again. You'll become a better car driver, especially if something goes wrong. Now I see a whole bunch of hearts and things popping up. Is that you, Matt, making those special effects pop up, hearts and happy faces. So now, who's going to be a better driver? The person who knows how the car works and has, no, not the best driver teach him, just a regular person teach him how to drive a car, but they know how the car works. And the idea is practice, 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 practice. Can you see the emojis? Yes, I can see the emojis. So, and it's especially better to know how the car works when you're driving along and you hear a strange sound. You're driving along and all of a sudden you hear clink, clink, clink. Now, if you know how the car works, you might say, that's a flat tire. That's this other thing. Whereas if you only know how to drive the car, you don't know what that sound means. You don't know what to do next. And those are the times you really need to know stuff. Those are the times, yes, I can see the emojis. Those are the times you really need to know how to drive when something goes wrong. When the guy slams on the brakes, his brakes in front of you, when he skids in the ice, when he does whatever. Those are the times where you really need to know what your car can do, what it's capable of, because you don't want to flip it. You don't want to be spinning out of control, etc. Okay, so that's our approach, is to teach you how the brain works, how emotions are triggered, how we can prime ourselves to get something, set a goal in the future, and then take steps non-consciously to get it. That is what we do here. That's the approach. So for the next 4 weeks, we're going to do it. And then week 1 is introduction and overview. What are we doing, why, and how? And so our videos for this week, first we start with Dr. Amen talking about the brain. What's the consistency of the brain? How do we damage the brain? And more importantly, the brain can be fixed, because it's what is called plastic. It's resilient. It can be trained. It can learn to do, constantly learn how to do things. The brain is the most complicated thing in the universe, other than the universe. Maybe even more complicated than the universe. Who knows? So, Monday, how does the brain, not how does the brain work, but if we damage the brain, can the brain be damaged? And he'll say, yeah, it can be damaged 5 basic ways. Traumatic brain injury, alcohol, tobacco, something growing on the brain like a cyst or a tumor, and then a disease, something kind of preventing the brain from working properly. Alzheimer's, sometimes Hodgkin's, Atkinson, no, whatever, brain disease. Okay, so, but the brain can be repaired to an extent through a brain smart program. And then what we learn is this is a brain smart program. This 28-day, 7-day, 4-day, 4 weeks, 7 days a week, this is a brain smart program. Ding, ding, ding. Tuesday, we have Jordan Peterson talking about the importance of IQ. What is it? Okay, and how do we know it's real? And once we know our IQ, what can we do about it? Okay. Wednesday, everything we think we know about addiction is wrong. Johann Hari, great one. What is addiction and how do we overcome it? What do we do? Everything we think we know about addiction is probably wrong. Next day, Yuval Harari, why do humans control the planet? So these are all the top people in the world. These are the top educated people in the world, the smartest, brightest people in the world, who their peers say, yeah, they probably got it right. It's not the guys that went to an unknown school, no school. They're tapped into the universe and they're saying it's true because the universe is telling me it's true. No, these are people who have peer reviewed. Their peers say, yeah, that guy probably got it right. That's probably right. Yeah. He assimilated what everyone else is doing in the domain and he moved the ball down the field. That's the guy who's right. So that is our 4-week journey. And again, today we start with Dr. Amen talking about the brain. The brain, he will say in his thing, is the consistency of soft butter. It's easy to damage the brain through what? Traumatic brain injury. Boom. Ooh, I got a concussion. Alcohol. Okay, so if you're out there listening, have you ever gotten a concussion? Okay, well, you damaged your brain. 2, alcohol. Excessive amounts of alcohol damage the brain. 3, drugs. Now, so most of our people in our program have experienced all 3 of those things: traumatic brain injury, lots of alcohol, and drugs. Okay, next, disease. And so their brain is now more open to disease. Right. They damage the brain. They're not having healthy habits. They smoke. And so they get a brain disease or something is growing on the brain. They don't have a healthy brain. And so more things get in there. And that happens later in life. But Dr. Amen will say Alzheimer's, he'll say starts 20 years before there's any manifestation of it. It could start 20 years before you even know it. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need a Brain Smart program. We have to keep our brain actively engaged, including remembering stuff from the past. Get out your photo album. Look at the pictures. Contemplate the pictures. Remember your childhood. Spend time every day just thinking about, going back and thinking about memories that you had. How to do things, mathematical equations, formulas, things like that, things that are of value. Do percentages in your head. Do that. Engage the brain 20 minutes. And then exercise. Okay, so that's today, Daniel Amen, and it is a story of hope. You might think it's a story of, oh man, am I hosed? Am I hosed? Well, you're hosed if you don't do anything about it. One thing you can do is part of our Brain Smart program. This is a Brain Smart program. Part of our thing is repetition, repetition. Come back every day. And I know Matticus von Atticus will agree that when he has a long streak, when he keeps coming every day and makes it part of his daily routine, it makes him feel good. But then he doesn't have, here's what I do next. Okay, then I do go from this. I get in the shower. I go for a walk around the perimeter, make sure everything's right and make sure there's no bodies buried out there anywhere, no holes, no breaches in the security, or go out marching, do some PT, and then I'm going to come back and have a healthy breakfast, and then I'm going to do this, and here's my schedule for today. If you don't have a schedule and you're constantly thinking, well, what do I do next? What do I do next? Can you see the emojis? It is secure. Okay, so the property is secure. Boom, cool. All right, next. Okay, well, I will say, we're at 1917 in. Okay, good thing. Spoke to Watnada Bevy yesterday. I think she's at work. Have to send me the schedule. Time is up. We're going to try to trim these down to closer than 10 minutes and really focus on the TED Talk. So tomorrow it will be the importance of IQ. You do not want to miss it. And if I can remember, bing, 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 if I can remember, I will print out copies of the Wonderlic IQ test and we will give them tomorrow or Wednesday to all people. And with that, we're going to say cut and cut.